Hello, everybody. This is Anthony Bionis from Mission Start Podcast, and if you enjoy listening to us, not only on the website but also on iTunes, be sure to check us out on Stitcher as well. Stitcher is an iPhone, Android app, also on other smartphones. You can download for free, and also registration is for free too. It's an app that you can listen to any podcast that is on there without ever downloading a file. When you register with Stitcher, be sure to put in promo code Mission Start or Conover or both, and you get to automatically be entered into a $100 prize every month from Stitcher. So be sure to check us out, support us, and we'll support you guys. Hello, everybody. This is Anthony Bionis from Mission Start Podcast, and it has been quite a while since we had a last Conover, I think. Anyways,
More like post-con depression. Correction.
yes, as you might have heard from the voice, I am here joined with one of our people from MSP. Say hello.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Um, and today, just to clarify, what is your name? Because I'm bad at names.
I'm just going by my alias Lone Wolf for now.
Okay. So tonight, me and Lone Wolf will be talking about our time at Sakuracon that happened last weekend. By the time you listen to this podcast, we would have been, yeah. And so first of all, Lone Wolf, this was my first time being at Sakuracon. I've always watched it online, these awesome videos, these panels that I've always watched online and had, I wish I was there. And I finally managed to make it out to one. The thing that kind of stood out to me was that I was walking through Seattle. First off, Seattle's a great place. I haven't been to Seattle since I was like 12 or 13. And, the people there are really nice, and it's a really clean environment. So I was just walking there. The convention center was huge. Like, it was two buildings. And
Well, technically six.
six?
Oh, wait. Well, including the Sakura Dome, I think that's four? Four or five. Between the four or five. Because they're including the basement down low and up.
Oh, you're talking about the different floors. Yeah.
Yeah, like, there's like the basement floor, there's a second floor, third floor, fourth floor. I think there's at least 4 floors in all total,
Right.
if I remember clearly.
Yeah, that's the one thing that stood out to me when I walked in. It felt like I was walking into a mall, but yet like a hotel at the same time. It was a very interesting combination because there were a bunch of food places you can buy in the convention center, as well as other things they had there, panel room wise, that are for panels and whatnot. That was really cool, and that was like really awesome to see. The second thing that I noticed is like I was walking to the convention center is like there are a lot of places nearby the convention center. If you don't want to get the food inside the convention center, there are like other places nearby. There was actually it was like a little grocery store like just a few blocks down from the Sakuracon that you can go and get food if you wanted to. So it's the most perfect place in downtown Seattle from what I've saw. Um, yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoy that. Um, so just out of curiosity, how many years have you been going to SoccerCon, or how many times?
I've been to Sakuracon since 2010, and that was pretty much my first time wearing a costume
Mm,
without any makeup and all. But as years progressed, I actually got into it.
awesome. Was it just as huge back then that it was now?
Oh yeah, it's pretty huge. It actually has grown a lot since 2010, actually.
Wow. Oh,
Because I mean, like, including the people that comes from overseas, particularly Japan and God knows what other countries that are like eager to come here.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, isn't it like the biggest convention in the Northeast, or at least in Oregon? Yeah, I heard somebody said that, but Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was really crowded, but what it really impressed me is that the convention center was huge enough to hold everybody in. Like there were times where yes, it was crowded, but it wasn't like body to body and you're not moving. It's you can actually still walk around and not feel like it's that type of crowded. So that was a great feeling walking around. It's not it was a worry about that. The thing though, I
But I mean, like, even though if it is crowded, you have to take detours. I mean, there's a lot of places, like a lot of different routes that you can take to other convention centers. You can take an elevator and take it right up to the third floor and get out of there, and then just switch. You know, there's a lot of opportunities of different ways you can actually get to your location without getting stuck in
right,
traffic.
definitely, definitely,
That is something I learned since 2011. Actually, no, 2012 Sakuracon. Actually, I mean, you know that one area I think on the third floor. You know the big court area.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean you can actually open the door and actually there's a stair leading up, and then you can actually walk up back to the giant courtyard by the freeway park.
yeah.
If you want to go there, just basically if it's very crowded, you just basically go to the third floor and then walk out to the back door and then walk the stairways and then voila, you're out and then basically you're at the freeway park.
Yeah, definitely.
No hassle done.
Yeah, definitely. Like there were a lot of ways to get around the convention center. And that was great too because like not only can you go through one area, you can actually go in several different areas of the convention center, which reduces traffic tremendously. Um,
Yeah,
the thing that
I wish people would start actually paying attention instead of just focusing, oh my gosh, I just take the main road and just dump everybody.
right, right.
Oh my god.
The thing though that was very interesting is that normally at these big anime conventions, staff and security can be, so many to contain, thousands and thousands of attendees at the same time. I like the fact when I was walking in, like there were some staff that were making sure everybody was walking in the elevator lines and not, causing traffic. So they making sure that nothing disrupted or made sure that no traffic was caused by that, and made sure to keep the lines going, as well as making sure that if you didn't hear the people, there are big signs that tell you, "Do not cause traffic. Keep walking. Follow the yellow lines." So I like the fact that they took an extra step to making sure to keep everything moving, and to make sure that there's no problems when it comes to walking from one end of the convention center to the other. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. Um, so the thing I noticed when I was there was that when I was going into some of the panels, it seems from what I've heard when I was there was that they were in some panels there were technical problems that kind of either hindered their panel or it caused them enough to where they still had to keep it going regardless of how inconvenient it was for everybody else who could not see um, or who were not able to hear the whoever was talking. So I was wondering, did you hear anything that, or did you experience any of that when you went to any of the panels?
Actually, we did a dating panel with a buddy of mine back in 20. Well, we technically didn't have any technical difficulties, but we required a mic, but took them at least 10 minutes to give it to us. But above all, we're doing just fine.
Okay. It might have been hit or miss, probably with some panels. But the thing what was funny, speaking of panels, like I mean, they went all pretty well, regardless of what was going on, technical wise. There were a lot of panels that were I was checking out before I even came to convention that I was like really impressed by. Is that if there was anything that you're into, like there's a panel for it, and I was really impressed just by the wide uh variations of just what panels were out there for Sakuracon. I it was pretty cool because at times when I was at the convention center, like I was kind of bored or I wasn't able to make to a panel, so I had time to burn. So I was thinking like, what's going on? So I looked up on my guidebook and on my iPhone and checked out what panel was going on at that moment, and it showed me, this is going on. If you want to check it out, or this event is going on. Okay. So as I was looking through the panels before coming to the convention center, like there was a wide variation of like different panels going on, and that really impressed me. I really like the fact that there's always something going on at any given moment. Especially like when I'm walking around and I have nothing to do, I just pop up guidebook on my iPhone,
Hmm.
and I looked up what was going on at that moment, and it showed me at least like 3 to 4 different panels, and that was like pretty awesome. Um, I really enjoyed it, and they were all very interesting panels. I just wish there was more of me to go around so I can go to every panel I wanted to. um, but yeah, there was so many. Was there any ones in particular that you went to?
Well, I was really busy at the photo shoot and whatnot to attend any panels this year.
Mm.
I sort of had to miss out on the guest panels,
Ah,
especially the Sword Art Online writer. I was so sad that I missed them.
right.
God damn it.
I did see him walk around in the dealer's hall. I was like, oh hey, it's that dude. And then
Oh yeah, he's actually. Oh yeah, not to mention, he actually showed up at the Aniplex Sword Art Online gathering.
nice.
Everybody didn't know it was him until somebody had to point him out. He was like right in the crowd. He was literally blending in.
He's being Snake. You know, you didn't know he was there.
He's also taking pictures too. I mean, his sister was helping him taking pictures of the gathering.
Yeah,
Everybody was oblivious to the point that he was there in the crowd.
yeah. Um, it was interesting. It was cool to see him around. I was just kind of doing my thing. It's like, oh hey, that dude. Not to say take anything away from him. No, it's just that that's the type of person I am. I don't really try to be all fanboyish and be like, oh my god, you're a director, or you're the guy who created Horror Line. Oh, let me take a picture. Oh, let me hug you. um, but yeah, like the panel thing was pretty awesome. The thing that kind of when I was walking around is like eventually I got used to like where everything at was mostly at. The convention center itself is huge. For people who don't know, the convention center is two buildings, but it has at least 6 floors on in each building. One building is particularly the main convention center for everything, but the other building was separated for registration. Which when I first learned about it, it's like, oh, it's really cool because that really reduces not only traffic or people wanting to get to the anime convention, but it also has an entire building dedicated to that, which made things a lot easier. Not to mention like you can go from one building to another. Um, but when you went there, what were you there for all three or even day zero or
I was there all 3 days. I had to skip out day zero because I'm still in school.
I see. Awesome. How was the yeah, I wasn't there to pick up my badge in the other building just because press. But like how was the line? How was everything handled in the registration for Sakuracon?
Typically before this year, the line wait to get yourself a badge was about, well, honestly, if you get there like at least 11 p.m., um, I have to say the best time that you will be getting your badge is probably about, say, 3 p.m., 4 p.m., maybe 6 maximum. Because like the wait line itself was pretty damn long
Mm,
when I went there about in 2010. But they
wow.
literally reduced it to at least a minimum of 2 or 3 last year. And this year, because I went there late in the afternoon on Friday, it was pretty quick for me.
Awesome. So it seems like depending on what day and time, like you can either get your badge fairly quickly or you have to wait a little while just to get your badge. Okay. It's interesting and good to hear. Um, so as I kept exploring the convention center, first off, the weather in Seattle was pretty cold, so I forgot how that was. And I was like, ah, yeah, it kind of sucks because I'm wearing like my Black Star outfit and my arms are freezing. But it wasn't too bad just because like, I was mostly in an anime convention most of the time anyways, and it was pretty warm and everybody there was really friendly and I didn't run into any problems with anybody. The interesting thing that I did see, or just kind of how it was set up, is for some of the panels I went to that were 18 and 18 and up, they required a hand stamp. which it was my first time actually, experiencing this, and I went and got a hand step and asked, why the hand step, and they just wanted to go the extra mile to make sure that you're 18 and you're not letting freaking 17 or anybody under into the panel with just a badge or with an ID because it could be fake. So it's cool that they go the extra mile to make sure that for some panels that you're at least of age to go watch or sit down and check out. So that's pretty cool. I do like the fact that the staff are taking extra measures to make sure everything is running smoothly and whatnot. Just out of curiosity, how old are you?
19.
Oh, okay. Was there in previous years, was there any panels that you went to that were 18 and up panels?
Oh, actually, I almost walked into one when I was 17.
Oh, really?
That was like in 2010, actually. Actually, my first con was walked into an 18 up panel.
Did
But
it?
I did stay past curfew hour because nobody even bothered asking my age.
Right,
Because they assume that I'm 18.
right. Speaking of which, I've heard about the curfew hours. Like, they only set a time for people who are uh under 18 to only stay till 10, or what was the curfew exactly?
Curfew, if I remember correctly, from 2010, it was probably about 12 a.m. Around 12 a.m., 12 or 1. I don't remember, but it's one of the two.
Hmm.
But 2010, it was 12. But
Hmm.
I don't know about this year.
Right. So this has been something they implemented for a while then. And it's
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. It's been around for quite a while since I don't remember what awesome, but yeah.
mm, that's pretty cool because like for one, that you're eliminating like the young crowd to not be at the convention, which is for people listening to this who are younger than 18. I'm sorry, but you guys, it's particularly better when us older people are there. um, but it was cool to have that type of format to where at this certain time, this type of age group cannot enter the con, or this certain time, like this is who can enter the convention center, which is cool because it cuts down to it cuts down like the whole stupid kid doing stupid things because how just how teenagers are, or, younger kids who are dumb enough to do anything at night, or it eliminates just like the hey, this is no longer family friendly. Kind of is, but it eliminates that feel, and it's like, okay, I can let loose a little bit, and I can say curse words about being objectified or anything like that. So I do like the fact that they have that format as well with the convention center. So that was cool. Walking around at night at the convention center, just kind of going from room to room. Um, I do like the fact that majority of the rooms, like some of the rooms were dedicated for just one thing. Like the AMV room was just dedicated to just AMVs, which was awesome. I was like, wow, like for anime over here, like that's like a three like an hour or 2 hour thing like on each day, and it's not dedicated. So that's pretty cool. Along like other stuff like miniatures and a mobile gaming room and whatnot. So that was pretty awesome. Um, out of the now you've been going since 2010. The cosplay quality, I never am the person to really, I guess not judge, but like just see what how good the cosplays are. But when you started there in 2010, was the cosplay quality, or just like the people who did really good jobs in their cosplays? Were there a few and far between, or was there more people, or heck, a handful that were out there?
Well, there was a lot of people that actually handmade their costume, which some of them turns out pretty nice, and some of them could improve.
Right, right. But has it grown over the years to where you turn around and you see at least a good five cosplays to like one or two cosplays that could have been gotten better?
Not that I can think of.
Mm. Yeah. Um, it was interesting walking around. There were a lot of great cosplays. Like there were some awesome stuff that people were doing. I was walking around and there was this guy dressed up as what was his name? Gray Fox from Metal Gear Solid 1, and he had the whole helmet like it actually like opened up and closed by itself. He had the mechanics all working together. It was so sick.
Hmm.
There was a lot of great cosplays that were just there at the convention center. The League of Legends cosplayers were pretty sick. Their armor was great. Their props and everything that came with it were just superb and everything. Um, it, it was really cool. Not to mention the people who got very creative with some of their cosplays. And it was awesome to see. So the quality of cosplays was really good. Not to say, there was a few I didn't, that were just kind of meh, but I'm just saying there were. But there was actually
Hmm.
there was actually a lot of cool cosplays that were there that I really enjoyed. Oh, excuse me as I burp into the mic. So the thing that I regret not going to was the masquerade. And if I remember correctly, Sakuracon hosts they're the convention that hosts the WCS or the what do you call it? The qualifier, I guess, for a United States cosplayer team to go compete in Japan. Um, I can't remember exactly. Do you know anything about that or
Is it referring to the World Cosplay Limit? I
yeah.
mean, the Summit.
Yes, yes,
Sakuran
yes.
does not do that.
Oh, they don't? They don't aren't they the preliminary convention to do it or am I thinking of another convention? Or is it something completely like different than what I'm thinking now?
Um, well, the cosplay contest, I don't know. I haven't even went to one myself yet.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I've regretted not able to go into the Masquerade just because like I've been watching it. The thing that was interesting though, I was looking it up before I came to the convention, was that the Masquerade was held during the day and not during the night, or it was doing in parts of the day. It was interesting. Because normally for the anime conventions I've been to, they've always been held at night, around like 6, and it goes up to like 10 or 11 o'clock, and then that's kind of how it is. But over in Seattle, apparently they do it during the day, which I, which it was interesting. But I can see the benefits of doing it because like if you wanted to go check that out and then want to check out panel out that's only during the night, then that's great. Or say like it cuts away from uh, being able to stay up late or being tired at the end of the day and not able to have the energy to watch it. You're able to watch it during the day. So it was really interesting, but it was pretty cool. I regret not being able to make it for that. um, so let me see. I'm trying to think what else was there. Um, it was very interesting walking around, and I stumbled upon a few things that was just kind of funny to me. It was the same place where they held the ball dance. We call it the black and white ball over here in California, but they called it like the ball masquerade or something like that, where everybody dresses up nicely and dance with a partner or whatnot.
Hmm.
I managed to walk in there, and it was like they were doing what do you call it? They had foam swords, almost like LARPing, but something a little different. It was just like I walked in, and then like at first, like just me and this guy were just watching, and then we started to shout it out things. It's like use your shield or like dude use your use your meter. We just started throwing out their fighting game terms, just like, and it was hilarious. It was awesome. um
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty funny, but it was funny. It was cool though. It was interesting. I liked it. um but yeah, it's just again like there was so many different things going on at the same time, and especially during the day and during the night. um Now you were doing the photo shoots, or you're taking pictures during the day. Was there anything in particular that you enjoyed? Any of the photo shoots you were doing?
Um, Honestly, photo shoots. I really enjoy basically letting the photographers pick up the spot, but sometimes when I see a spot, I always go in for it.
Mm.
If it doesn't suit my character that well, I'll just screw that. I will make it work.
Awesome, awesome. Um, it was interesting walking in that outside patio area of the convention center because um, it was at one point I stood on one of the sidewalks or the things you sit on, and like I just see an entire sea of people, and it was cool, but it was like I wasn't gonna go through that, so I just kind of looked and it's like wow. Um, it was cool though that there were people out there having fun, talking to each other.
Hmm.
It was funny, like during the night when I came out of the rave, like there was like an entire line of just like people smoking outside. It was
Oh,
like,
there it is, smoke on.
yeah, I know, right? So just I saw that happen in front of me. It's like, wow, that's interesting. um, the only group I had was like, I guess it depends on which gatherings you went to, but like the gatherings I went to maybe like two. Um, I went to the My Little Pony gathering and I went to the Soul Eater gathering. The Soul Eater one, there was a lot of people there, but it was very unorganized. So we were just posing for, I guess, whatever, how long it was, and then they just kind of, people were just taking pictures of us, but it was just kind of, it wasn't organized as much as I wish it would be, just because you know, it would be pretty awesome if we had like different groups, together to get a picture with or different teams or whatnot. But but compared to the one the My Little Pony gathering, that was actually more organized and it was actually, it had somebody, making sure that everything ran well. I guess it just depends on, which gathering you went to. But so far, like at least to me, the some varies. I don't know. It's just kind of how it was. Um, did you have time to go to any gatherings yourself?
I went to the Sword Art Online gathering.
How was that?
It was pretty organized and it was pretty crowded too to begin with. And then there was the Black Rock Shooter gathering I was hosting. And thank God to the guy in the pink hair that saved my ass too. Oh my God.
How many cosplayers were there for both gatherings?
For the Sword Art Online,
Mm-hmm.
too many to count.
Was it just like a sea of people? Just like,
Yeah, there's a sea of people. Like the sea, it's mostly consists of a sea of Kirtos and Asunas.
I gotcha. Um,
And I think I did see a sandwich coon. Somebody, I don't. I'm not even gonna mention that. Oh my.
right, right. So yeah, the gatherings that were there were interesting. Speaking of gatherings and cosplayers, was there any cosplayer that stood out to you in particular that was like, oh my god, I got to take a picture?
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. For a second, you got cut off. Or
Oh,
something like that.
okay. Was there any particular cosplayer that you saw in the gathering or
Oh, I saw Miss Sinister cosplay. Oh my gosh, she lives in the same hotel as me, and holy crap! It took me a few minutes after she got out of the elevator to know that it was her in the Hyatt, and we were right in the same elevator.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling like it's like you look at somebody's like I recognize that person. I'm not sure if it's who it is. And you get close, it's like, oh yeah, it is. Happened to me with my friend one time. I was like, oh yeah, it's you. I think. um, that is awesome though. I'm trying to think. There was a lot of great cosplays that were there. I think the one that stood out to me and I put up on the Reddit thread actually. Um, Peacock. There was a lot of Skullgirl cosplayers, but the one that I took a picture of Peacock from Skullgirls was really awesome. It was really well done. It was very clean. The pictures up on the website if you guys want to go check it out. But the cosplay was really well done. The purple material that she used was really clean. There was nothing that was stood out that made it anything less than a problem. So it was pretty cool.
Hmm.
But what was it? Yeah, like I'm trying to think what else did I do? So the gaming console room was, oh my god. Okay, it's not as size wise, it's not as big as Fanime well, it's actually I think bigger than Anime Expo, whatever. It's not as big as Fanime's, just because Fanime's game room is so huge, and they have all that space to work with. But I felt like the size and just the space amount that you use for the console game room in Sakuracon was big enough to where you can walk around, but small enough to, not feel like it's too big. I love the fact that they have all these setups for everything as far as like games that were whatever you want to take out and check out and play on these flat screens, and for PS3 and 360, and they were set up all awesome, all well done. Including they had like some PCs set up for some anime fighters that were on a separate table, and they had two projectors that they had for some of the games that were featured, say for like a tournament, or say there was one dedicated just to Just Dance, all 3 days I think it was, and it was awesome. Like it was really cool. Like I really enjoyed being there. I do want to point out if there's one thing that I want to say to every anime convention person who is listening to this, especially Fanime, because it is a 24/7 con like Sakuracon I went to, is that I entered in a tournament for Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3 at night on Friday night at Sakuracon. What I came in assuming that I signed up for was like it was going to be a single elimination tournament. Pay $3 to enter, and it's going to be how it goes. But no, it's actually the prizes are taken care of. Like Sakuracon doesn't allow you to pay anything. It just you can enter for free, and then on top of that, it was a double elimination. It was actually a full tournament. So like, and because it was it goes through the night, they can do that. So
Hmm.
I really enjoyed it as somebody who is into fighting games and who are in the tournaments. And like I cannot tell you how many times like I go to anime conventions and it's only a single limb just because of time constraints. And it's like this was great. This was awesome. Yeah, I wish more cons to do this. Plus, it was on stream, so yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
hmm Um, but aside from that, I just had really I had a fun time there at SuckerCon. Like my only gripe, my only other gripe I had with the convention was like I wish it was a day longer because I felt like this convention was too short. Like 3 days,
Hmm.
3 days I felt it didn't. 3 days I felt didn't wasn't enough, at least for me. um,
Yeah.
yeah, like do you feel like it should be like an extra day longer?
This could be a 4 days weekend. I mean, Anime Expo. I mean,
hmm Yeah, especially since like it's the biggest convention in the Northeast too. Um,
it
yeah,
doesn't mean Northwest.
or Northwest, my bad. Yeah.
I was like, geez, I was like, what?
um, yeah, but I really enjoyed my time there. As far as like, am I gonna go again next year? It's up in the air. I mean, I had a fun time this time. I might go next year again. If I do, it'd be awesome. But if I don't, oh wells. Um, I'm trying to think. Just real quickly, the one I wanted to talk about was like the cosplay repair station room was
Mhm.
a godsend because that place saved my ass a few times with my cosplays. um, was there ever a time when you needed to go in there and have your cosplay repaired in any way?
Yeah.
For which cosplays?
Actually, I never had a cosplay problem, but I heard about them like at Sakuracon 2010, and they've been around in there for quite a while. Especially they're like based from there's a group of students from University of Washington.
Right. Yeah. Um, they were really cool.
And honestly, I know the person who's in charge of that too, and that's the scary part.
They were really cool people. Like I walked in, they asked me, was there anything that they needed help repairing or anything, and I just went in there for some hot glue, and it's like, oh yeah, there's a line for that. So I got in there, used hot glue, went out. It was really cool. Like that was awesome. I know there's one in Fanime, and I'm not sure there's one in Anime Expo, but there's some over here. But I just like just the atmosphere of that room and just people. They were really friendly. I really enjoyed it. It was a godsend, as I said. um, the other thing I wanted to say was that I am really impressed with how the price system works at Sakuracon because far too often I go to conventions and there's always some controversy of somebody setting up a tournament, having people pay money out of their pockets to enter into the tournament, and then, part of the money goes missing for some odd reason. And the way that SoccerCon does its prize system is like if you say enter in a contest at a panel or in a tournament and then in a game console room, like the prize is already taken care of as far as like there's a prize room for everything, and
Hmm.
they give out these little pieces of paper that is called pedal sheets or pedal points, and they have like different tiers. um, I like the fact that like they give you like a piece of paper and then you can go into the prize room and you can pick whatever prize you want depending on that tier or that section that you want. Oh, excuse me. And I really impressed me because like not only are you cutting down any controversy or anything that could go wrong with giving away prizes or say like at a panel like trying to give a prize to somebody who really doesn't deserve it. It cuts away all that fat and it just goes straight to this is your prize. Go pick whatever you want in the prize room. That was awesome. Like I felt like that was a great like intelligent system they have set up there at the convention. Is it something that has been there for a while when you were there, or is it something new recently?
Actually, I have no idea. I
uh,
just only went there just for the fun of the con. I don't really much pay attention to details.
right. Um, from what I've heard that they did change this year than last year is that apparently people who are winning these contests were winning more than once, uh, winning more than one contest, and they came with just uh like sheets upon sheets of just like you know I won 5 tiers of prizes, and they got like a handful of prizes as they walked out of the convention center. So I think they just limited to just like one tier, one prize per ticket or per person. So um, I can see why they were not liking that.
Yeah.
But that's just such a great idea. I wish that every convention, I wish every other convention would adapt this idea. Yeah, it'd be totally awesome. But other than that though, I think it's about it as far as like my entire experience. Like obviously, there's a lot more I can go into, but you guys can go read it. My review. It's up on the website. It's awesome. Um, but yeah, it was. I had a really fun time there. Was this time for this year was awesome for you, or was there anything that you felt like it could have been better?
Actually, I like it as it is. I mean, it's pretty fun, and they're probably gonna improve it again next year.
No, that is awesome. That's great to hear. Um, so with that, thank you, Lone Wolf, for joining me for letting me divulge into this awesome conversation about Sakuracon. And can I talk tonight? Where can I find you on the internet?
Yep.
I'm asking you, where can they find you on the internet?
I can be mostly found on Facebook. If anything else, and and I think I linked my Facebook link on the About Us section on your on MSP website. If I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna have to go back and check. But yeah, that's where I can mostly be found at.
Cool, awesome. If you want to follow me, I am at Twitter